Hello, my name is Kristina Dennis. I am the Transformational Self-Empowerment Master, and I am coming to you from my house instead of being out and about. And I hope everybody's having a good Monday. I spent the morning kind of getting myself settled and everything handled. And at least for the moment, that's the way it works, right? In life, things are handled for the moment if you're lucky. I was listening to a lot of information this morning, really good information about what people, about the subconscious, I guess is what I want to talk about. And in this particular, I was listening actually about a really old book, 1960, The Power of the Subconscious. And even though they kind of said some things that I didn't necessarily agree with, like that in regards to my faith, but in regards to what happens from a standpoint of the subconscious, rearranging everything for what you're looking for to happen. We've been hearing about that. I don't know. I thought it was interesting to find out that book was written in the 60s and knowing like what a big bang The Secret made gosh, 12 years ago when it was on the Oprah show, the law of attraction. I have a lot of really close friends or people I really admire, I should say, that speak on the law of attraction, and I absolutely believe in it. But I also want to propose a question that I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about. If the subconscious is so powerful, how do we go in and detect or detect the parts of the subconscious that aren't going for us, that aren't in our favor? And that I think has to do a lot with the idea of transformation actually working. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is discussing, that yes, all of that great self-talk, imagining ourselves living our best life, imagining ourselves healthy, blocking out thoughts that aren't going to be helping us is really, really important. I learned 25 years ago from Louise Hay, I think the original affirmation queen, that your mind can't have two thoughts at one time. So it is within our power to replace our thoughts. However, I do think that, especially in my life, what I found that was true was that no matter how well-intentioned I was, no matter how hard I worked on empowering myself and thinking the good thoughts and writing the journals and setting goals and reading them out and having vision statements, there was still just a lot of pain that needed to also be rooted out of my subconscious. And until I got to that place, there was always going to be a trigger around the corner that was going to derail me, that I would spend, another 6 months cleaning up my reaction to something that was painful. And when I finally got to a point where I realized my feelings are my friends, they do give me clues that I could work with people, work with myself, work with professionals, work with groups, and root out some of those really self-defeating beliefs. The other thing is that they came from somewhere. I have one of the best techniques and exercises to overcome fear that we live with and that I use with people that I work with directly. And it really leans on the belief that the fears need to be addressed. Our feelings need to be addressed. We need to honor them in regards to where they came from. Now, there may not be a truth in where they came from, but we don't just decide we're going to feel terrible about ourselves. Usually there was a seed, an incident, many incidents, many, many belief systems, other people's belief systems being placed on us that led us into that position of having that feeling deep down inside that we didn't even know. I was listening, like I said, to The Power of the Subconscious Mind, and it was discussing the fact that one of their partners was working way until 1 a.m. in the morning, destroying his home life, and until he took the time to find out why was he punishing himself, which is, it must have taken a leap to get to that place, because I think a lot of us feel like that when we are working really hard, we're doing something valiant. And in fact, especially the United States just kind of completely blesses that and says, yes, yes, yes. Even though research tells us working 70, 80 hours a week is not an effective way to live our lives. Anyway, I digress. This partner was working till 1 a.m. He was destroying his personal life, and he realized he was doing it in a way of self-punishment. And after doing some work, the kind of work that I think is also important, not just the positive affirmations, the part where we kind of look at patterns, behavioral patterns, and try to figure out where that came from and how is that serving us. This pattern he had, this guilt that he had over his deceased brother, was compelling him to punish himself by extra work. And once he was able to get through that and work through that, which wasn't just like a snap of a finger or an affirmation, he was able to really get to the place where he could work a normal life, or work a normal work schedule, and then have a home life that he needed to have. And I think that's a very interesting way to approach it. And like I said, we get tons of messages about, just think this way, and you're only defeated if you give up, and you're only that. I think there's so much power in exploring the subconscious, but exploring all of the behavioral patterns that are showing up in our daily lives, and find out why they're serving us, even if it seems like how they're serving us is in a negative way. I know that when I started earning money in my 20s, I really enjoyed being generous. And part of that was ego, part of that was fear, part of it was trying to buy friends. But the really deep foundational portion of it was that my grandparents who had raised me had led me to believe that it really wasn't worth anything and I didn't really deserve anything. And so all of these promotions and things that I was doing out of being a perfect child or a perfect human being at work, I would make sure that I was always, dead broke at the end of the month. So glad I've let go of that belief system. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Monday. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for reaching out to me privately. But if you would like to do it on the Facebook group, I'd love to hear from you. And I'll check in with you tomorrow. Have a good day.